Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Scion the Tower, or welcome to Scion the Tower if this is your first time. I am Chaz, the story guide of this marvelous adventure of utter chaos. And we are kind of at a crossroads in our little story with our two heroes. Because it's the story of our two heroes, we're going to begin, like we always do, by introducing the people who play them and let them kind of like tell us what we need to know. So this time, Zach, if you would, please let us know who you are, who you're playing, and any pertinence you would love to share.
Hello, my name is Zachary Naldra, he, him. I can be found at places on the interwebs at Zach Rules, like it says down here ish. I'm not good at figuring this out yet. I'll get it one day. Um, you really just go to Blue Sky and go for ZachRules.com or go to my website ZachRules.com. Yeah, that's really where I'm gonna be. If you find me at the other places, no, you didn't. Um, I tonight I am playing Bodhi Lee, son of Blue Tara of the Payas. Um, oh, and Bodhi died. He just he is now in an underworld. Um, Hopefully it's his pantheon's underworld. That was the goal, is to go there. If he ended up in another one, that would be an interesting story. But he would also be very confused. There's a thing about the Payas and a lot of conversion into them. Um, Maybe this is some sort of reverse conversion going on if he's not in his own. We'll find out. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. I promise.
Shall see. We have glorious things planned. Crow, if you would, the same things. Who you are, who you're playing, and any fun pertinence you would like to share.
Hi, I'm Crow, it. You can find me this week on The World Below, um, playing another character, more of a eldritch elf, if you will. That's going to be fun. However, tonight I'm going to be playing Nolan, the demigod of war, son of Ares, and we'll just see what happens. A lot has happened in the last time we last saw these characters.
That could not be, wait, no. Yeah, that is so much the truth. So I'm gonna do a little quick recap because, like you say, a lot has happened. The city of Atusa, known for its connection and kind of uplifting of scions, has recently been under attack. The past year or so, there has been this Cthulhu-esque entity that has been affecting many of the bigwigs of this town, including our beloved Doug, uh, our imperfect but definitely well-intentioned billionaire, who has since passed. Um, and very quickly, we found out that this entity had some sort of plan connected to the tower that Doug built, Scion Towers, and was continuously kind of infiltrating the minds of many of the powerful people in Atusa. Um, in order to stop it, Bodhi, one, allowed himself to be, uh, for lack of a better word, possessed by this entity to get some sort of connection. And then Bodhi, along with Nolan, created used this ritual that they created in order to seal the entity within Bodhi's body and then banish the entity. Um, it was only after the ritual was completed did Nolan realize that the banishment of this entity uh, included the banishment of Bodhi, as Bodhi was also part entity from that possession. Uh, I think we're going to go straight to what we're all trying to figure out. Bodhi,
Yes.
it's been a long time. You're not really sure how long it's been. Usually we tell time from like variance, right? The sun goes up, the sun goes down. Like things change, and we could be like, okay, time is passing. Nothing has changed in your visual perspective for hours, days. Like you have no way to tell the time. You do know a few things. One, you're in what seems to be some sort of line of people. Not a single file. There's just like a line on a path. Two, the people either do not have faces or you don't have your faculties back enough to recognize faces. Like you can kind of see features, but your brain is not connecting it to like a face. Three, you feel kind of chilly, a little weak. Um, in the time you've been here, the best way to describe how you feel is very much mortal. You know, in the distance, the line seems to be going to some sort of house or structure. The line is moving as you have taken steps in this time, but the house has not seemed to be getting any bigger. Distance does not seem to change.
Okay. How many? What's the general vibe of the rest of the souls that are around me?
They all seem self-interested. You see multiple people looking at their palm as if they're holding a phone, although there is nothing there. Um, no one has made eye contact with you. It seems very isolating, even though you're surrounded by what looks to be thousands of people.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they don't have eyes to make eye contact, as far as I can tell. So that's
Right.
and truly, when you truly embrace Buddhism and the concept of no self, what you reflect to the outside is no being. So that would make sense if these were people who are maybe on their way to Yamaraja, the processing center that you get to go to leave before you get reincarnated into your next life. Perhaps this is one of the more danned out hells of Naraka. We're certainly not in the great crying, the bursting blister, the corpse swamp,
Yeah.
hot, really hot, and sneezing, or Razor Road. So, um, he does feel like he needs to do something, though. So, uh, I did burn through just a whole bunch of legend in the last episode. Do I have ever gained any of that back?
In the time you've been in this line, you have learned that you are a legend. As for right now, you are not a scion. You are a person
I have
with no legend,
no legend.
no.
Well, that is certainly gonna make attempting to communicate with anybody um, outside of this plane of existence really difficult.
But as you draw on the legend that you are like, become very certain that you do not have this legend anymore, you look in the distance, and there is a massive tree with what looks to be a person sitting underneath it.
This person is not in line.
No,
This is outside of the line where everyone
outside
is
of the
going.
line.
Yeah, I'm going to go sit underneath the tree with this
Okay, the
person.
tree looks to be 3, 4 miles away.
All right, I'll start walking.
All right. Uh, you start walking, and as you walk through the grass, you feel this like tear, like something is pulling you back. Like it won't force you, but like you are in, you are in pain.
I'm still gonna keep going. Still gonna work on pushing through it.
Roll me an stat, integrity and your best resilience stat attribute. By the
Um,
way, because you're not a demigod, your hit your success is at an 8.
Okay. Does that mean I no longer have divinity dice then?
Yep, for as of
All
right
right.
now, you do not have divinity
Okay.
dice.
Wow, that is just. Even if I was still a demigod, that would be a big pile of nope. I think at 8 dice, one of them would be do something good for me.
You think so? We
I
will
don't
get
know.
back to what that means for you and your venturing off the path. Nolan, it's been 6 months since you have lost your dear friend. A few things have happened in that time. Thanks to the initiative that you and Bodhi did, Tuesday is now much more green, not in the like environmental sense, but there are trees everywhere. And because of the Pacific Northwest and it rains so much, like it's growing and flourishing to the point where it's starting to feel uncontrolled. Um, Two, you have received, I think, one text from a, I'll say close friend, although I'm not sure if that's how you feel about her. About a month ago, you received a text from Nyx. Just be like, "Hey, how you doing? I think I figured out how to make not iced tea. Um, by the way, have you seen my daughter? I have not been able to get in contact with her for a bit."
I think at this point, we don't actually see Nolan's face or anything from Nolan. We just see him text over to Nyx. Basically, it's not cold. He doesn't mean to be, but just see a text and that he comes in text, "Hey, um," and not trying to throw him under the bus, but he does kind of let her know that like um Hades was the last one to have seen her, as he did uh cut her lifeline in a way to not involve you in the possession of your daughter. His orders.
All right. Then you just get like a final text. Thank you for letting me know. By the way, it is like August in Atusa. And since that phone call, I think the high has been 55 degrees. Um, Snowed a couple times. Just been like really wacky weather happening. And you have been getting more and more prayers. Uh, the most common prayer you get is from one person who you certainly recognize, although who would not recognize you, um, were they to meet you on the street. The mother who you severed fate with is consistently reaching out, and the prayers tend to ask different things, although they tend to come back to like one thing. She feels as if she has failed as a mother with these new children, although she cannot identify why, and so she asks for this potential god of familial love to like help her get through and be able to do something that she was not planning to do.
Hmm. Um, I think in his own way of answering it, um, and we'll see like a montage of this. Um, like something randomly would pop up on her doorstep to like help her. The uh something like this thing has gone out and she's probably done the older black woman thing of, "Oh Lord, the dishwasher's gone out." That prayer that mom has thrown out a few times. And then
Mm-hmm.
she comes back, there's a new dishwasher there. But for this one, I think he just goes kind of directly. Um, in the recent months, he hasn't been seen. A lot of prayers have been answered, but he hasn't really been seen except for three people. Two of which is the door he's knocking on. He appears on their door, uh, kind of knocks on it a bit. Um, a little bit more dressed up. He still has a bunch of like the green, um, let's just say like green jewelry. So like a green sword that's hanged on a gold chain. Um, on the back, you see a symbol that you think that might be his. It's
Hmm.
a green ring, a sword going in the middle of it, and a bunch of ruins that look oddly modern, but also oddly ancient at the same time, as if someone crafted that himself. But he knocks on the door.
Door slowly opens and you see two sets of eyes like peering out.
He lifts up his sunglasses, and you see a pair of like green flaming eyes. He has not gone back to his old mortal look. He's taken on more of his divine features, so the green flaming eyes stay there. Every so often, he kind of hides the green tattoos, but like under the shirt, you could see their glow every so often. He kind of bends down.
And if I'm not mistaken, you did not sever ties with those two, did you?
No.
So they see you and they are excited, door flings wide open, they are yelling, they run out, they hug, just enough
Uh-huh.
for mom to be like, I thought I told y'all stop making so much noise on the porch.
Sorry
Oh,
about that.
hello. Uh,
Hi.
you dropped them off.
I did.
How can I help you?
Well, S'more, and he just looks for. Wait, hold on. Y'all two haven't been opening up this door and run out her cold air, have y'all?
And they look like they're about to answer, and then they like look back once.
Uh-huh. Okay. Given given your auntie a whole headache. Come on. He just kind of ushers them in the house.
Hmm.
Hi. So you called.
I did.
Well, seem to have gotten your prayers a bit. They come directly to me. And for the first time, um, hasn't really shown his divine features to the woman in front of him, no
Yep.
longer tied to him. He kind of lifts the sunglasses up and shows the flaming green eyes and then put the sunglasses back down.
Oh, welcome. Can I get you anything?
Instinctually and not even realizing it, he says like, oh, I'll just drink the red Kool-Aid in the fridge. And the kind of backpedals and just, I mean, I just know these things.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense. And she goes and gets the red Kool-Aid. Um,
Um,
Lex and Rex are sitting down, feet kind of
once
like
like,
doing this thing.
oh, and he just holds up a hand as he's going in. If the camera just pans behind him, we see a few shadowy figures kind of like arming themselves around the perimeter. And he kind of closes the door behind him.
Okay. We're gonna come back to see what happens here. Bodhi, you assume that as you walk through the grass, like it would hurt you, and like does, but that's not enough to stop you. Um, However, what it does is the pain brings back many of your faculties, so you're starting to remember all sorts of things. Um, and it goes even further where it looks like you're starting to like kind of see what's happened in your absence in the distance, in your absence. And you're looking at the monastery, which is all just disheveled now, as if without you being there, there is just no one to like keep things going. Um, you also notice that Sasha is back in her cabin, her little cabin. Um, and you just hear this very quiet sobbing. You will have +1 complication for any charisma rolls, as a lot of the weight of your loss is hitting you all at once. And while Demigod Bodhi would absolutely have no problem with this, Mortal Bodhi is still dealing with a lot of the connections and how he has some things left undone.
Well, yeah. Well, it is unfortunate that the temple has uh, not prospered in my aspects. At least has not at least at least like even just maintenance. Like that was one of the things that he made sure is that the temple was set up designed so that it could run without him being there, so that he could go off and do Scion things. And in his mind, this is him going off and doing Scion things. Like this shouldn't happen. They should be able to. They should be self sufficient. They should have been set up for, you know, the gardens, the plants, everything that they were growing, for example, should be set for years based off of from his efforts, and yeah, that is a bit concerning.
Everything was there, yet somehow within a few months, it seems like your absence was notably missed.
Is he able to
But
get the sense
mhm,
that it has only been a few months from this, since he has no idea how long he's been here?
you would be able to easily tell that based on it's been minimum like 2 months because like the plants are dead, which means it's been a while since they haven't been watered, and it would take a while for them to like fully die. Um,
He did his he did give that blessing onto the ground, so they should be good for years, even after he just had unimbued the legend.
that is true. Okay, so yeah, plants are fine, but there is still just like a whole bunch of like dismay. The kitchen looks like it hasn't been touched in a while. It almost looks like you would assume it's been abandoned had you not seen people like walking through it.
Can I get a sense if there's been some change in the influence of um, how the temple is being run? Has there been some, did a scion of Mara or one of the triplets decide to swoop in and try to undermine the efforts of?
Without rolling, there's nothing that lets you believe that. Because if someone were to swoop in, like you would see people mulling about, like the temple would look differently, but people would still be using it. Whereas right now it seems just unused, as if like people abandon once you let people abandon it, left it.
Okay.
But you continue walking, and as you get closer, you see this individual is a woman, uh, sitting down underneath the tree.
Is she meditating? Is she just sitting there, getting out of the using the shade?
She is sketching.
Is she, does she have a face?
She does have a face.
Okay. Is it a face that I recognize?
It is a face that you recognize. It's a face you recognize, although you've seen it maybe twice in your life.
Is this a form of mom that I haven't seen before or have rarely seen?
It is a form of mom that you've rarely seen.
Okay. Um, can I recognize which one it is? Or am
It
I
is,
not
in
seeing it?
fact, Blue Tara.
Blue Tara.
But Blue Tara in her 16-year-old girl form.
Oh, okay. Hey, mom.
Like, hold on, I'm trying to figure out how to draw hands. They're very difficult. And she takes some time, and then she looks up, big smile. How are you doing? She gets up, arms wide.
Give mom a hug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, I haven't seen in a while. You know, some things have happened. Died, went down to Hades, but that came back. Died again. Now I'm here. Um,
And you brought a friend with you, and she like points to this sort of vessel, and you can hear the sounds of that Cthulhu-like entity, like trapped within the vessel.
yeah, that's kind of how I got here. A friend isn't really the right word. Um, this being was causing problems and um, was causing undue suffering, and um, I trapped it and brought it here, hoping that could run into some people who would be more equipped to deal with it. And I found you, so that does seem like I came in the right direction.
It does, but you weren't going to find anyone else in purgatory had I not seen you die.
Well, eventually I would have found someone.
Not necessarily, as purgatory is a reflection of your actions. Likely, what would have happened is you would have stayed alone for a while before you were reincarnated into whatever form.
Yeah, but I would have then I would have just left this thing behind in purgatory by itself, and therefore putting it in a place where it could not cause suffering.
It too can be reincarnated.
I mean, everything can be reincarnated, of course. But I imagine it wouldn't come back as this all powerful being.
That is true. It wouldn't. But the same could be said for you.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Um, but again, our reincarnation is based off the actions that we have taken in our lives, and my intentions have always been okay. Well, not always.
Right. I'm glad you
Yeah,
pointed out the yeah.
okay. But it took my intentions were after you came and visited and kind of explained things to me. My intentions since then have always been good.
Yes, you have.
Um, I may not have executed as appropriately as I could have, or possibly should have, but it was the right intentions were there, the right thought was there. Maybe I'm not hitting it out of the box, but I'm getting MLB. I gotta at least be getting MLB Hall of Fame numbers.
We really don't know. Your intentions, your actions have saved many a soul in your time as a Scion. But with I almost quoted Spider-Man. And I'm gonna do it anyway. With great power comes great responsibility. There are many people who have become solely dependent on you as a sole beacon rather than focusing on the inner self and the action.
I can see that. Um,
Did you know your vampire friend killed somebody?
I did not see that.
She looked to you as her pillar, her rock. With you there, she always knew that she had support. Unfortunately, without you there and having not eaten for over a year, these are the actions that we cannot account for, and why we need to be free of this cycle of reincarnation.
How many people would she have killed in that year if it weren't for my actions to rehabilitate, attempt to rehabilitate her?
I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say none. She doesn't seem like a very good vampire and likely would have been killed by somebody before she had the chance. Or she could have become very adept and killed many.
So, does it make sense to question what the could have beens were when we look at the outcome?
We only question the actions, what we do. That's what we are judged on.
How many people had died because of the meddling of my traveling partner?
Are you asking how many people Nolan has killed?
Nolan isn't here with me.
Ah, this traveling partner, the one that was part you.
The one that tried to become part me.
Hmm. From what I can tell, people only really died, I'll say maybe 10. Very few people died from this thing. It wasn't attempting to kill people, it was attempting to save someone. Though it's attempted to save someone through the use of turning people into objects against their will.
Okay, so you're saying that between all of Blaine's victims, which we know there are numerous,
Yes.
between all the people that were harmed by this creature's feet um, controlling Doug,
So this creature never controlled Blaine. That was the vampire in your presence.
the vampire that was under the control of.
The vampire was also not under the control of this creature. I've had run-ins with her in the past. This is just who she is.
I mean, maybe it is who she is. She was at the very least working with him. She may not have been controlled directly by him. Dale may not have been controlled directly by this entity. But we know Doug was, and Doug was the one that gave orders to kill. I witnessed it, and I took actions to um, prevent that killing.
I'm not saying you did not bring good into the world. I am saying that there is no guarantee that you would be reincarnated in the same body or even a human form. I don't control karma, no one does.
Yeah, well, I mean, the past few weeks had been an exhausting 9 months. So, uh, maybe I'll come back as a house cat.
We have good lives.
Lie around, lie around a house, bathe, sunbathe, complain about not having food, and you know, scratch up some furniture for 10 to 20 years, and then maybe then, if now is not when I return as Scion again.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you want to be a Scion again?
How how can I have seen the world through a Scion's eyes, seen how much good I can do, and know how much more good I could do to make the world a little less miserable, to help people on their way to a better next life than the one that they were reincarnated as. How could I see how much more there is to accomplish and not want that?
Have a seat, Bodhi. And she like points to right in front of her and asks you to have a seat.
Sit
We
down.
flash back to the overworld where Nolan, the red Kool-Aid has significantly less sugar in it than you're used to.
That's fair, actually, especially with those two.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, so, you're here to answer my prayers.
Well, yes. Yeah, actually.
So do I like give you money or something? How does this work?
No, you don't know that you don't have to
And
give me money.
those two get up and like, oh my God, he's super cool. Have you seen him do the thing where he goes, "Rah," and they're like, you know how like when they're just like talking on top of each other, they're like going and feeding off each other's energy? Yeah.
Right, right, right. Okay. Um, he just goes. Abdul's trying to have a conversation real quick, so if you and you go play video games real quick, I'll come and talk to you later. We can hang out and have ice cream later, okay?
And yeah, they are gone.
Yeah, I know those two are a handful.
They are, but they're lovely children.
Hmm. Well, come on, tell me what the problem is. You're the one who called me.
I was more so like venting than anything else. Taking care of two children who you just met a couple months ago. It's
Hmm.
pretty hard.
It is.
They
But for
don't.
some reason, you have the swing to it, don't you?
More than I expected. Yes, but you don't want to realize that like you're lacking somewhere at the wrong time.
You know, every parent thinks that they're lacking something. Isn't that kind of part of it? Isn't that the part of the whole thing when it comes to being a parent, learning what it is that you're lacking and then either swimming or sinking for a minute?
Well, I didn't know I was going to be a parent. I used to want to be a parent for years, and I just kind of gave up on that. So I kind of cut that out of my life. So this is a brand new identity that I'm dealing with.
Well, it's between you and me becoming practically a god just kind of got sprung up on me as well. It happened overnight. It was not something that I ever had planned for either, so
Didn't your mom like warn you this might happen?
oh, if she thought things would be different, maybe. But no, she didn't. Although understandably why.
Fair enough. Okay, so then what do I do, oh powerful God with godlike powers?
Oh, they'll stop that. I hate when you guys do that. Besides, you're older than I am, so the whole old powerful wonderful God thing that just oof, no, oof. Nolan is fine.
Right, that was your name, Nolan. All right, Nolan. So what should I do?
Well, tell me, what is it that you want to do?
I want to make sure they're taken care of.
Kind of looks around. I think you already do that. I hold on for a second. And it does a weird thing because he knows his chair has not been fixed in a while, so he spins around in the chair. For
Hmm.
some reason, he knows he's able to do so. Then just stops. I think think I don't have to answer that prayer. I think you've already got that one covered.
If you say so, oh powerful Nolan.
Okay. I'm what it sounds like to me is you're looking for a confidence, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
He takes something out, uh, does like a marvel of a marvel. Um, he's making like a memory and kind of passing it off as like a possibility.
Hmm.
Uh, but that memory is of their former relationship. He puts it down. All right, you watch this and you tell me if you think you are or aren't ready.
So if I know anything, at least about my family, they would do it, but they would side eye you the whole time their hand is going towards. So yeah,
Oh yeah, oh definitely like that. Yeah,
yeah,
we know.
the
Yeah.
whole time. But like, she will watch it. What is this memory of?
Um, and he's edited it just a little bit. But it's the memory from like an old photo, that one photo that she used to have on her bedside, that memory.
Okay. Until she watches it and tears start running down her eye just as she's remembering. By the way, did you know that when you cast a Marvel, two things happen? One, you gain an extra divinity dice.
Hmm.
Two, the human beings around the non-trivial targets become caught up in your fate as you are like demonstrating your magic power. You are now fate bound to the person that
Of
you have
course,
cut
this
fate
is
with. And so we'll talk about what that looks like a little later on.
yeah.
Um, where she looks and says, "Oh, thank you. That's helpful."
So I showed you a possibility, more likely possibility that you think. I think you'll be fine, but I can help you with the little ones and running their energy out as they can be a lot sometimes.
They
I know.
can. They keep sneaking out at like 4 in the morning and practicing to be heroes, which just amounts to them doing like snowball fights.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Hmm. Weirdly enough, those two are or can be, might be heroes.
Interesting. Looks like I'm gonna have to get ready for that.
Well, something tells me that you will probably jump into the swing of this immediately. No
Well,
training necessary.
you can only hope, I guess. Well, thank you for taking the time to stop by. Do all gods personally stop by, or are you just like bored?
Not bored. We got to answer in very weird ways.
That's fair. Okay. Well, then next
Also,
time you show
I was
up,
the one
let
who
me
picked
know.
you.
You don't. That makes sense. Yes, that's
Yeah.
true. Well, then next time you come, I'll have a secret stash of the real Kool-Aid. I just can't have that around them.
No, I get it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
and you hear like squeaking as they're like trying to sneak out of the room.
and you watch as Nolan kind of takes one foot step and almost like something from Bleach, just flash steps right in front
Yeah.
of the two of them.
And then they scream, and then they laugh, and then they're screaming and laughing. Like really excited that Nolan is back
Oh my
on the
goodness.
crossing.
Okay. You two are giving your auntie a heart attack 4 in the morning.
I think Lex would be like, it was closer to 5.
Sneaking out and not telling someone it doesn't matter what time of morning or evening or nighttime.
We won't do it again.
Oh, you probably will do it again but by the time I turn my back. So, hmm, okay. Well, been meaning to do this anyways. Um, he just swirls his hand. He takes out two wooden swords, hands one to one child and one to the other.
I'm gonna have you roll a d10.
Okay,
I'm gonna say 2d10.
2d10. Okay,
Yeah.
rolling, rolling, rolling. Okay. I got a 4 and a 3.
Okay. So you don't even get a chance to explain. They take it and they are so ecstatic. They are running around, sword fighting, maybe knocking a few things over, but they're just the happiest they have been in like 3 years.
Weirdly enough, he just kind of motions around. He like before they can break something, he's already grabbed a
Yeah.
vase and he just moves around them. In a way, he's faster. Like they wouldn't even notice that all this happened, and he just kind of does like the one dad move and puts like a hand on both heads, just
Yeah.
and just stops him in mid motion. All right, all right, all right, all right. Now then, 3 rules. Ready?
They're trying to listen.
1, you will not attack each other or your auntie or anything in the house.
Mhm.
2, you will do 100 vertical swings and 100 horizontal swings
Okay.
every day. And 3, you're going to practice channeling energy into the swords because that's what they're made for. every day.
Hmm. 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 Let me see a thing.
Hmm.
Okay, so they are they're listening. Um, you can already feel Lex's sword is bursting with energy. Rex hasn't gotten there yet, but you gave it to him like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. Good. You guys do this every day. You will do your homework. Don't think I haven't asked the teachers about it.
And they are embarrassed, but very much waiting for you to release them so they can go outside and practice.
All right, go get your jackets and everything on. You can guys go out and play for a bit.
Okay. And they are gone. Sans
And they
jacket.
come back in. He kind of picks up his two jackets, and just checks it at the two of them,
Take your jacket.
and come back when the street lights are on.
Okay. Um, and so, applause like, well done. That was impressive.
I've gotten used to those two. Anyways, if you need any help, don't hesitate to call.
Will do. Is the prayer the best, or do you do phones as well?
You have my phone number.
Ah, yes, I forgot about that. All right, then have a good day.
All right. Have a great one. Take care. And he closes the door behind him, kind of walks past as the kids are playing around.
Hmm.
Um, Makes it a few blocks away. Kind of straightens himself back up as we see not one, not two, but 15 other people wearing like because Nolan is just wearing his regular jacket with his symbol. These guys are more armored,
Hmm.
um, long flowing jackets with the same symbol, and they're following down behind him. Let's go. We have a few things we got to take care of. And that moment of jovial, moment of like warmth completely gone as soon as he gets outside.
It's time for business, but business will have to wait a little bit as we go back where Bodhi and Tara are sitting down in meditation. You desire to be a hero.
Well, in a sense, I aspire to be a force for good. I would like to think that whatever the role I am given in my next life, I will have the tools at my disposal to do that. That I will have the courage and conviction to be able to use them, and
Well,
the
hmm,
wisdom to know when other methods are needed.
it's possible you will. Also possible you won't. However, I might be able to help you. Consider it a belated birthday present or presents.
I mean, really, a gift is unnecessary.
The gift is not for you. It is for me.
That's awfully selfless of you to give yourself a gift.
I know I've been working on it. I don't care for it.
Yeah.
I have come to realize that people see me as a hero. I too was like you. I wanted to help. And I think I became good at helping. And in doing so, I created this mythos surrounding myself
You
that has actually harmed my goal.
you've just now, Tara, who saves all, realized that people view you as a hero.
I never really called myself that. Other people did. I never really thought about it much. But you also want to help. So what if we helped together?
Okay. So, what do you ask of me?
I ask of you to continue on your path. If you do continue into the divine, uh, you would be able to help many others escape this realm of reincarnation and pursue enlightenment. But to do that, you cannot die. So what if I give of some of myself to you?
Okay, I can accept that.
All right. Let us meditate and coincide with this gifting.
Should I return, I would ask that this entity here um, is to remain behind in an appropriate place. Um, of course, all beings may um, return in, in some form or another. Um, this is, of course, does not mean that he can't spend some time um, on Razor Road.
Unfortunately, that is something I cannot do. Uh, as of now, this entity does not pose a threat. It is sufficiently contained to kill this entity would just be introducing harm. What I can do uh, is return the entity back to his mother, and perhaps we can talk, and maybe then she will finally see the light and join the power.
That is fair. If, as long as this being will not come back in its current form, in the form that I brought it here.
Once again, the only way to make sure that happens is to kill him and likely his mother immediately. I'd rather talk first and resort to violence only if necessary.
That I understand.
Well then, shall we begin?
Let us, yeah, let's get going.
Fair warning, as I am gifting this to you, you likely will not return exactly the way you left, but I am unsure how.
Well, no one who comes to this place returns completely unchanged. Some of that is, of course, to be expected.
You see a smile, like a smile that if you didn't know any better would be pride, but that's not how power does things.
She's not a prideful god. Of course she wouldn't be.
Well, so you sit down and you meditate. You are being gifted one of the mantles of Tara, which we will talk about later. But with that mantle comes a few changes. You awaken in your room, or once was the room where you stayed. Your room, it has not been touched, so it is dusty, but it also hasn't been touched, so it is not in the near disarray uh, that the rest of the monastery is. Would you like to describe yourself?
Yeah. So Bodhi's appearance has changed. Skin is much like his their skin had been when, as a hero, when Omen came, skin turned blue. Uh, Bodhi's skin is now blue. Bodhi is has taken on some more features of uh, the mother. It's now very much a mirror image of Blue Tara. Um, not slightly more a human in a sense. Still has two eyes, has full set of teeth, um, but is now in a feminine body.
Odie, uh, mirroring her mom, gets up. You are alive, having completed was it parting, I believe it was. At the end of this session, you are going to gain one legend. That is one of the 5 steps necessary for apotheosis.
All right.
Nolan, as you return with the people saying it's time for business, you get this feeling, this inkling that you haven't felt in a long time. It feels like Bodhi.
Hmm.
And while it's possible that that might just be some lingering either guilt or like missing of your friend, uh once like it's a demigod, you're like, no, I feel Bodhi's like divine energy permeating. It's probably Bodhi.
Um, Kind of just does one of these numbers. Um, has everyone hold. Um, it's a long pause. Picks up his phone and he's about to call, but then he's just like, we have a stop to make, and then we're heading to headquarters. Uh, he has someone. He gets in a car. Uh, There's like someone driving the car. There's another one of his, I guess you would call them an assistant, has them drive over to where he's feeling that energy. But he does give a message to his fate-bound Chris, the defender that he
Mhm.
last gave his blessing to. Wait for him to answer.
Uh, it'll take like three rings, but Chris will answer.
Gotta wait for him to answer.
Like you hear him like kind of whispering, "Hey, how's it going?"
Where, where are you currently?
T TV 25.
What do you mean TV 25?
I did a few TikToks, and now like the local news station is also like doing something on me.
Tell him it's emergency. Head to the temple. I'm sending you a message of where. There's a car
Oh,
coming for you now. You're probably
okay.
already there now.
And then Chris will you'll hear him say as he's like hanging up, he has to go, and he'll get in the car.
He doesn't express not a single iota of an emotion or like there is one part of him that's like holding on to like this hope that like uh Bodhi's back and everything's gonna
Hmm.
be great. Everything's gonna be fine. But that other part, um, maybe it's the demigod, maybe it's something else, maybe it's still him reeling from what happened before, but like that coldness is kind of clamped on to that
Hmm.
hope and it's kind of ripped that away. But he's heading there.
Okay. Bodin, what do you do in your at the monastery?
So get my grips and kind of um, where everything is essentially where it was, and we'll kind of look through some clothes, and none of them really fit right anymore.
Hmm.
Um, going with gonna have to go with like a. You mentioned it has been cold in too, so
Like right now it's like 47 degrees.
okay. Well, hoodies and sweats. Um, height hasn't really changed, so they fit, but it's still a little
Hmm.
baggy. The body is not quite the same shape as it was, and we'll kind of head out and start just walking through the temple to see who's there.
Gotcha. In the time before Nolan shows up, you see two people kind of still there. One is sweeping, another is like fixing a room, but seemingly half-hearted, more like at this point just to make sure it doesn't decline into further disarray than to like restore it to actually being usable.
Okay. Do they acknowledge me being in the vicinity?
Uh, when they see you, they will become immediately. Have you ever shown your omens to the people of the temple?
I mean, Brody in the past had certainly done things in the temple. For example, anybody who would have been there when Bodhi banished the entity's tendril in the cafeteria would have seen Omen Bodhi.
Gotcha. So apparently these two were not there. So they will become immediately defensive, but not aggressive, more very confused.
Can they sense? They're you know, Bodhi just spent who knows how long in another plane of existence
Hmm.
where uh, the divinity was absent. Can before passing, um, the divinity was certainly much more prevalent in Bodhi's day-to-day life and
Hmm.
was seen by those around. Is that divinity returned and has that is it giving off the same vibe as it was before?
With with the new mantle and your return to this realm, the divinity has returned. It does not give off it gives off similar energy, slightly altered and much stronger. Human beings, however, cannot identify it. They can identify feelings. So they feel confused and threatened to the point where they will not be aggressive, but also curious.
I've got my boons and my knacks back, right?
Yep, you have everything back.
Let's see. Which means soothing presence. Well, they may not have that exact recognition that this is Bodhi that they are in front of. They will still get the same feeling of calmness that Bodhi
Yep.
radiated out to others.
And that they may recognize as they become more curious and say, Do do I know you?
Do you think you know me?
You feel very familiar.
Yes, yes, I do. Why do you think that is?
Would y'all be able to figure it out? So the person who was sweeping, um, still has the broom up, like looks very like curious, but like cannot figure it out. The person who was putting the room together like drops a vase and is like, Bodhi! And just like starts booking it towards you. And then like the holding and the tears and like, you've come back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Bodhi will accept this, and let them and let this person, do what they need to do.
And as the person who's sweeping also like comes to the realization and starts crying and like runs over, you hear four vehicles, was it? Pull up outside?
including Chris is probably five.
Okay, so five vehicles um kind of pull up outside. But what's gonna happen?
Oh, I did not know it's cut to me. Um, Immediately he steps out the car first. He doesn't even wait for someone to open the car door.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably has one assistant beside him. He just goes, okay. Before anyone starts making texts and stuff, have Max shut down network in the area. Make sure no one's tweeting anything. No, no drones, no additional stuff. No
Hmm.
random teenagers with a bunch of phones. I don't want to see anything about TikTok, anything. If
All
I see a
right.
TikTok, you already know.
1 mile radius around the monster has been blacked out.
Hmm. Um, he has like a few of his guys kind of surround the perimeter. And then he looks and waits for to make sure Chris is able to get out the car.
Yep, Chris is out.
You're with me. Don't do anything stupid. Don't say anything stupid.
I'm ready, boss.
And no inviting your boyfriend to this. I don't want a thing that happened last time.
Can you unblock my phone for a bit?
He just takes out a second phone and hands it off to Chris.
Yeah, that's like sends a quick text. Yeah, don't know, no worry about that.
Takes the phone back. You know, he can't join us on our escapades. I get it. I know. Yes. But unfortunately, he's a lot more, well, him.
That's fair.
Also had to reattach one of my agent's arms after he decided that he was adept at using one of our prototype weapons. He just is making his way upstairs.
Okay. Bodhi, you hear like maybe about 20 pairs of feet walking up the stairs of the monastery, um, fairly aggressively. Like these are not people who have come to pay respects. There is a aggression. But uh being back to being a demigod, you can smell, you have that scent of the divine. So you know exactly who it is. You just
Hmm.
know he's pissed. Or at least he has shelled his emotions to take care of business.
All right, yeah. Head down to meet him.
You know,
Uh,
you see someone who definitely, yeah, no, you see Bodhi.
so, and he kind of just motions for, with the exception of Chris, everyone else to kind of just like go outside and guard or go wherever they need to go.
Hmm.
Uh, Has the door closed behind him. So,
Hmm.
6 months.
Oh, I went to see mom, and it took. It certainly felt much longer than
Yeah,
that.
you look like your mother.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Apparently, take after family. When, or at least I do, or maybe as I'm becoming further along my journey, more and more of what was in her that gave me this divine spark is coming out.
Uh,
Pun not intentional.
nah, gotcha. Um, and with that, he's taken off the sunglasses. We see that green flame kind of spark back up. It's a lot brighter now. Takes off the ball cap, and we see where it looks like he has a fade now. There's a lot more scars, but like there's flames traveling up where the fade is. So like as if someone cut his hair and then like the flames kind of took that over.
Nice.
Hmm.
The tattoos have now flared up, but noticeably there he's a lot more built, but he's walking with a cane, and there's a lot more bruises that look more like stigmata, especially the golden band-aid around his nose that he's been wearing for a while, but now you kind of realize, that's your thing now.
Hmm.
Well,
Uh, and and how are things with you? How you been?
same, I guess.
All right. I hope that the entity. I take it that it was successful. Mom is having a talk with its mom, and we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you got to go and see family. It's a valuable thing.
Yeah. So
Uh,
yeah. So yeah, 6 months. I've got some catching up to do. Got anything going on? Anything pressing at the moment that you're
um,
working on?
before he even answers, he kind of holds that cane up to Chris.
Hmm.
Don't respond. That's no, that's not your cue to go and unload. Anything that I had important, well, I can kind of cross that off. This kind of seems a little bit more important than that. Although, and he kind of looks over to the two followers.
Hmm.
Are you making your announcement today? Do you want to hold off? You want to catch up first?
I have some things that I need to focus on and to work on. And right now, it will get the little things that may seem trivial, but are much more important um, in line. The world will find out when it needs to.
I've already taken the precautions of making sure that no one digitally or magically digitally can make sure information leaks out. And I hope that some of us here can um, understand discretion. He makes sure to point his eyes directly at Bodhi's two followers.
Yeah, they see like the seriousness, and we we will we will not tell anyone.
Wonderful. Puts on the sunglasses. It's hard. It's hard. There's should be a lot of emotions, and there are, but at the same time, for some reason, they're not coming out. There's something different about Nolan that is both, intriguing, but also off-putting at the same time in this interaction. But he's making an effort to be like, okay, well, I will assist in. He kind of looks around. Oh, assist in getting you back to snuff, as they say.
Okay. I have a. You had other things on your agenda today. We will have time to catch up and reminisce, and we'll not put let's not put each other above the good of those that uh, need us to be there for them.
This one is a little bit more mundane, to be honest. And let's just say that we can come back to it,
Yeah,
especially with you being here and all.
I've got to go talk to a vampire who apparently, despite
Killed a person.
yes, that, but just apparently when the 9 months that we were in Hades, or remember that day? It was it was what, last Tuesday when we were there.
Right.
Um, who? has reverted back to that stage where she needed to be someone to show her that she didn't need anyone and that she forgot that. So yeah, I'm gonna go deal with that.
Wonderful. Um, I'll happily assist. And also, and he kind of just takes out a phone, hits the walkie-talkie on it. I need 5 agents to do a cleanup and patch up job on current location. Also, and takes his hand off the receiver. Uh, pronouns, style of dress. I can't have you in sweats, no matter what.
Um, yeah, that we can do a shopping day at another time. But yeah, since this body is a gift from mom, she her seems appropriate as in a way of honoring my mother.
Okay. And he hits the receiver again. Okay. I haven't talked to her in about a month. Get get Chelsea. She'll know. Um, Tell her that a queen is in need of assistance with her look. Yeah, yes. Yes. The whole package. Yep. No, tell her not to do. No, not the drag queen. No, other queen, not the code name queen. Yes, yes. She knows. But ask me about it. Just get drive her over here. She'll love the treatment. She'll bring a whole bunch of stuff. I don't have time for this. And he just let's go to receiver. Chelsea be here in 20.
All right, let's go talk to a vampire. And
As
he'll
the two
And
demigods
she'll
reunite. Hmm?
she'll head towards the cabin that Sasha has locked herself in.
All right. And as the two demigods reunite, I think we'll take a break. So hydrate, do what you got to do, and we'll be back in about 10-ish minutes. See you then. and welcome back. I hope you have your water. I hope you're ready because we're about to jump right back in. Uh, so you make your way to the shack that she I can't even say locked herself in because it wasn't really locked. She just kind of closed the door and that worked for her. It is different. There are multiple padlocks, chains around the entirety of the thing. The windows have been boarded up. This has been locked and from the outside.
Bodhi doesn't have time for this. She's just going to go straight in and open the door. Um, Epic strength that just having it gives 1+1 scale to breaking.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, she's just gonna go up and just grab and break off the padlocks
in the door
and open the door.
and in the corner, the same corner where she was last time, there is a Sasha, but she looks different. Her eyes are more sunk in. Where there was a lack of hunger before, there is a deep hunger now. As she looks up to you, I knew you wouldn't die. Where have you been?
I died. I came back. Had to talk with mom.
What did she say?
She said my work here wasn't done.
So what work would that be now, Bodhi? Have you come to punish me?
I have not come so much to punish you. Because clearly it was a fault in my teachings that caused you to rely on me.
By the way, how close are you to Sasha? Are you still at the door or are you like inside?
I'm walking inside. I am calmly and going over and getting close enough that if she wanted to, she could attempt to lash out.
Okay.
So, apparently, we need to refocus our efforts.
I tried voting. I tried for over a year. Doesn't work for me.
So, what is it that you want?
Now, I'm hungry, Bodhi. I'm a woman who has been lost in the Sahara for years. And all I have to do to leave the Sahara is turn around and go back into the city.
what is it that you want for yourself? Do you want to become like Yuri, manipulating, controlling those around you, taking what you want whenever you want, with no remorse?
But what I did want for myself didn't work out for me. I wanted to be accepted, and I wasn't.
Why did you want to be accepted?
Mhm. I'm not rolling dice. Don't worry about it. Damn it. Not everyone can just exist. I wanted to be part of a community. It felt good to be part of something that was bigger than me, as I thought it would, but it wasn't, because every time I left, people were watching me. People were sharpening sticks. This community did not want me.
We may not always get to decide the path that we travel, but we have control over our own mode of transportation. So, is this something that you still want, that you still desire?
No, it is not.
Then all that you want now is to hunt, to find prey, to give in to your desires?
I want to be safe.
Is the city the place that you will find safety?
I think staying hidden is the place where I will find safety.
I mean, there's a cabin out in the woods. Live on a hilltop. No one for miles around. You and the animals.
I think I'll
Yeah.
find my own place where no one knows. That will help me feel safe.
You are free to do as you wish.
Hmm.
She will stand up and slowly start walking past you.
Yep. He's gonna. She's gonna slowly turn around.
And before she's out the door, she'll look back and say, it was fun, Bodhi. I hope I see you again.
Um,
I hope when I do, you found a sense of peace that I was not able to discover with you.
We'll see.
um, Before she even steps like a full foot out, like that king kind of whips out in front of her, kind of the same
Hmm.
way he did Chris.
Yeah.
But know this, if I find a pile of bodies piling up in the city, I'll send you the same place I sent your maker.
If you find a pile of bodies to the city, that means there's an even bigger pile hidden somewhere that you haven't found.
Don't let there be a pile of bodies or a single body from you.
We can only see what will happen.
Don't tempt it. Whips the cane around, allows her to leave, doesn't even try to stop her.
Mm-hmm. Bodhi, Sasha has changed to an adversary, fate bind.
I didn't actually have it recorded. What was she before?
I wanted to say pupil because she was learning from you,
Okay.
but she
Still, still,
walks in. Hmm?
still one dot.
I'm gonna say this is an upgrade, so 2 dots at this point.
All right.
She walks off out of the monastery.
Well, it's not the worst way that could have ended.
Well, it didn't end violently, and you two seem to split amicably. Amicably. Words. Sorry, haven't don't really speak to people as much.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
So,
But yeah. Um. So I've got some work to clean up here and get this place in tolerable shape.
don't worry. I have a few of my guys already working on it, and you can hear in the background. Some people are cleaning some stuff up. Someone is patching some places up. A lot of dusting and vacuuming.
Yeah. She's gonna get to work while the place has gone into repair. The vegetation has probably um, gone untended, and while, despite the fact that it has been blessed by her favor, means that there's probably a lot of you know overgrown plants and uh, food to be harvested and things of that
Hmm.
nature. Um, so she's gonna get to work on that.
Okay. So she'll be tending the garden.
I will say, when she goes to the garden, there is one section that seems to be the only thing that's been touched and taken care of. It's the three plants.
Hmm.
And there's like an overgrown green sword sitting in the middle of it. Um, Bodhi could probably feel every sad emotion that's there, that's been tended to.
Hmm.
I'm gonna look at the sword, look back to Nolan, and she's gonna just kind of. Is this a way you have of divesting yourself of what you've been going through?
Possibly. Um, it's just been the last few months have been busy, so I haven't really thought about it.
How many of these swords do you have?
That's the original one. It's only that one.
All right. Nolan, what's the rest of your day looking like?
Um, Nolan kind of just looks at his phone. He knows he has a meeting with his other Fate Bind. He's renamed them the Order of the Crown or Order of
Hmm.
Crown. He has a meeting with them. He's been kind of remolding them. He's been kind of building them up from when they were just a ragtag group of um the community business and other group that was come together to rebuild Atusa
Hmm.
with everything falling apart. He's kind of rebuilt them into like an actual network and a powerful entity within Duck Towers.
Right. So you're heading to that meeting?
Yes, definitely, because there's an important thing that they have to have a conversation about. Um, he's heading out there. He has kind of looking at Chris because he knows Chris is somewhere around, just probably poking his nose in where he's not supposed to be. He kind of
Yeah.
just makes that head motion to like head to the car. It's been great seeing you again, Bodhi.
It's good to be back. Hopefully, that'll be there won't be any more long absences, but hope is one thing, reality is another.
I don't know. And he heads to his car.
Right. Uh, and Bodhi, are you spending the rest of the day like restoring the garden slash the rest of the monastery as you have time?
Yeah, so figure that in order for there is that fate. Apparently, the temple itself is fate bound to Bodhi,
Yep.
so she's going to need to do some work in to restore the temple. The followers, she figures that they will figure it out without her having to reach out. So there's not going to be much there.
Right.
Um, which just leaves Silas to deal with.
Hmm.
And she's not sure how she wants to deal with him.
Hmm.
So she's going to focus on the temple for the time being.
Okay. So you'll spend your day uh kind of getting the temple back in shape. Which you can use a legend, but it's also just fairly simple to do. It's just putting a little bit of effort, which could be a meditative act in and of itself.
Yeah. One thing she's going to make sure is that those who still reside in the temple
Hmm.
um, are still practicing and still going through their trainings and their um, without parent temple leadership um, to see if they are still continuing on their path.
The five people you run into who are still there, they are continuing, although without the leadership, it has somewhat veered off course. So they might be a little lax in how much they meditate, or they might like, oh, we'll just take the day off. So they're still training, but their leadership very much helped keep them on track.
Um, she's going to help set them back on the right path.
Okay. Nolan, you show up at the meeting, and people are stressed.
Someone give me a report. What's going on?
So apparently, we've been trying to build new homes, but the design we submitted no longer fits the climate of Atusa. The sudden drop in temperature, along with the massive growth in flora, means that we need to switch our designs to an subarctic tropic climate, which we didn't even know was a thing.
Don't worry. I have someone who can possibly handle Well, at least our overgrowth problem.
Can't you just like kill all the plants and also make it hotter?
Who says this?
One of the newer people in the group.
You don't understand how the environment works, so let me explain. So you kill off a bunch of the plants, correct?
Hmm.
You get a drought. You get more moisture. You get another imbalance. Animals have now lost their food habitat, and now they have decided to infest our local cities and things like that. There's a balance to these things. You can't just kill off one thing. You have
Aren't you
to do it by order.
aren't you like magic? Can't you just like, you know,
If I were to, this whole place would be a military hellscape. But if you want that,
fine, and
he
sits
kind of
back
just bops him upside the head for like even thinking too long with the cane.
down.
All right, first thing first, I have someone who can handle our flora fauna problem. The weather problem, we're still investigating, as this seems way too, way too out of the ordinary even for Tusa. So, just like a rainy problem, we'll solve this problem like we usually do. But that's not the important thing I was hoping to hear. How is how's Project Guardian going?
Or the Guardian?
My God. A reminder. He kind of shows the device, the magical device I've been asking you to help build for our agents.
So we'll get a report. There's one person in the back, the same one who was talking about you being magic, who is kind of on their phone rather than like listening to the report and seemingly like texting in a hurry.
He kind of just holds a hand up just for everyone to be quiet, and he's staring directly. He even takes off the sunglasses and stares dead eye towards this person texting in a hurry.
And then as it gets quiet, eventually they look up. Oh, sorry, don't mind me.
Oh no, please. Sounds like it's important. Tell us. Who are you texting?
Oh, do you know a Scion named Viper?
Of course.
I ran into him last week, and he said he wanted to help.
With.
I don't know, just the what we do here. So I told him I keep him
It,
updated.
if he wants to play hero, allow him to play hero as long as it's not damaging the city.
Okay, I'll let him know. But he says he can also help with Project Guardian.
And if that laugh is not jovial, it's not happy, it's just the response to audacity. Yeah, yes, of course he will want to help with that, but anything else within the 6 months of this, well, with everything, he hasn't been helpful. So tell him we'll think about it. In fact, set up a meeting with him.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, sent the text out.
Okay, brief reminder. An update for me. Bodie Lee is back in the city.
Big
Get
gasps
off
and
your phone as this person is texting me, he says this.
phone down.
Bodie Lee is back in the city, and she, yes, she will be handling a lot of the responsibilities she had before. what we're going to do is do a slow rollout and make sure she's readapted. Everything is going in place. There is no worries, no problems of her being returned, no questions about what happened with any proteges or where the temple is, things like that. That is where you all come in. We make sure that everything's fine for her return. Otherwise, there will be problems, not from me, but potentially from, well, you don't want a problem with her family. So I would suggest you guys get on that as quickly as possible.
All right. And then all except one will get up and like start planning. And that one person will begin talking to you about finding the best time for you and Viper to meet. But let's transition back to the monastery. Uh, Bodhi, it's been not really a long day 'cause I think you like woke up at like 5 p.m., back. But it's been like, it's been a while since you've been in a body. How are you ending the night?
Um, you know, the amount of fruits and vegetables gathered from the garden are probably not sufficient, or probably more than sufficient to feed the current needs of the temple.
Yeah.
Um, so she's going to take the extra that will. Um, it's not like rotten at this moment, but there's no way that they're going to be able to eat through all of it before it does get rotten. So they're going to take the extra down to a closest food kitchen
Okay.
or a food bank.
All right. And there's still the car there, so it doesn't take long. The five remaining members are happy to help, load it up, and you go down to the closest food bank to donate some of this food so it's just not wasted. Anything you'd like to do there, or would you like to head on back to the monastery?
The one that held the broom menacingly for a moment,
Hmm.
um, they're going to stay behind and spend the rest of their evening volunteering and giving out food to those who come in need before they walk back to the temple.
Gotcha. And they're frustrated that this is, but they're also happy that you are back and they have some guidance and direction. And so, yeah, they will volunteer. And then eventually later on tonight, they will be walking back to the temple.
Yeah. Bodhi is going to venture out into the city and
Hmm.
see what else has changed in the past 6 months or so.
So just by existing, three things like really stand out. One, there's a thin layer of snow in the streets, which, maybe it snowed once in like 1950 in Atusa. Like this is not a snowy town, snowy city. To the because of your purview with health, you can recognize healthy life forms and unhealthy life forms.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the plants around Atusa look oh so pretty, but there's an unhealthy growth to them. Like they should have grown this fast, and they shouldn't be this wild, especially because like they're still being trimmed, and so there's something that is infusing these plants, enhancing their growth to an unnatural degree. And three, there is a haze, a lackadaisicalness to the citizens of Atusa.
Uh huh. Can she see what? Can she get closer to take a look at the plants to see? Um, Try to get a vibe of what's going on with them. Other than you know, if this unexpected growth is much more wild than what would be expected from what she has done,
Hmm.
then maybe we need to see if we can investigate as to what is the cause of that.
Yeah. Give me an occult or medicine, your choice, and cunning, since you're figuring it out.
Okay. Got my divinity dice back, right?
Yes, you do.
All right. Two successes, none of them on divinity dice.
Okay. Um, so with two successes, you're able to identify that it's not necessarily the plants that are causing this, or like whatever is affecting the plants isn't affecting the plants themselves, but affecting the earth beneath the ground that the plants are in. So there's something with the earth that is just causing this unnatural growth.
All right. So, able to get any sense of how long this has been going on for?
I mean, the plants were put in about six-ish months ago.
Right.
Um, so about as long as the plants have been here, there's been this. But whether
The
this was happening before the plants were here, that you wouldn't be able to tell.
Now, the cold was obviously something that came in within the last 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, you can look back and see that like the cold started happening about a month ago and had been progressing.
Okay. Oh, he'll doesn't have the dominion of fertility, so he can't like just will it. Doesn't cause any casual miracles to prompt the growth to behave.
Mhm.
And since healing is more dealing with human health than plants, and it's not the wild purview either. So he's not really aware of what exactly it is that's going on. She at this time is going to be kind of going back to the casual, not cat, active but not you know to her it's casual. To those affected by it, it is a great boost. Go to local hospitals and
Hmm.
where there's fathers in the waiting room and or family in the waiting room, and plus the family of a child that's about to be born.
And so Bodhi, having spent some time trying to figure out what's going on in Latusa, uh, is blessing the families of Latusa to have nice, healthy children as they grow up in this world.
Yep.
Nolan, Viper says he is willing to meet whenever you are.
Um, he has one of his people send like that same guy send a message. The same bar he met Bodhi.
Okay. Uh,
I'll be
he
there in
will
10.
leave immediately.
He makes his way out, um, going towards the same car. He sees someone at the corner of his eye. Um, just holds a hand up, walks over. This individual, tattooed all over the place, looks uh, like a British, uh, older hooligan. Looks like he probably has himself involved with the football lifestyle of reckless abandon.
Hmm.
Nolan just meets out to him. Right. Um, later, later tonight, we'll talk.
Responds. Okay.
Also, I know a little bit chaotic. We've come back from. I know I told you I would show you around the city. However, things have been a little bit more hectic than I thought. Also, I promise you better weather, but again, as you can see, it's snowing in Atusa, so yeah, a little bit weird.
Right, that's no problem. I know you can't control everything. I'm having a good time.
Right. Um, he hands him the card. You can get your way in and out. In fact, you'll probably be the only one inside because I haven't opened up that place in a while, so you would be the only one there. So I will meet up with you. No, you won't be the only one there. Probably five of the other guys will probably be there. Don't mind them. They're nice. They're just yeah. But I have a meeting. I have a meeting to get to. I'll be there. I'll probably be back in an hour or two.
All right. And then we'll start making his way back to, I'm assuming, like the main bathhouse.
Yeah, the main one, the one that hasn't been open in about 6 months. He's been busy in 6 months. With the
Mm,
exception of the bathhouse, the main one in the main part of the city has not
yeah.
been open. But he does make his way over to the bar.
And Viper is there already drinking a cocktail called Viper's Venom.
Viper's Venom. Perfect. Um, just across from him.
Ah, Nolan, how's it been? It's been so long.
Since the memorials, since Bodhi and Doug um, doesn't say the other name.
Yeah.
Just won't allow himself to even say it. Anyways, it's been a while. And apparently, you heard about Project Guardian.
Yes, I met someone who works with you. He seemed very tired, so I gave him a lift.
Yeah, that's not supposed to be an active project talked about, so I'll have to go and have a discussion with him about that.
Oh, don't do that. I'm sure it's me. I'm still figuring out some of my powers, and it's possible I like influenced him in a way that I wasn't aware of. I
Right.
will take full responsibility. Uh, by the way, Nolan, you are tired.
Right.
Like it just hit you. Like it's been a long day. Like there is exhaustion in your body that you weren't aware of before.
Um, before that even hits, he's kind of hit himself with like marching orders, using his war domain.
Excellent. We need a. Contested role.
Okay. What am I rolling?
Let's see. It's your purview. Roll your legend.
Roll a
That makes
legend.
sense.
Are there divinity dice on these?
Yes.
Okay. Um, what am I at? Four, so uh three successes, no, four successes, three of them on the divinity die. Four successes, three of them on the divinity die.
So unfortunate, but you did succeed on the divinity die, which means I don't get my very fun result. Um, so you hit yourself with marching orders, but like, and you feel like it like it's working, and then you just yawn, just like a nice one of those like 5 second yawns where you're not sure your mouth will actually close again. Like, yeah, just a long day, as if whatever force this is overpowering your legendary war.
Ah, Viper, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Drop whatever it is immediately.
I I don't know what you're talking
Don't
about.
bullshit with me. I'm not bull.
Nolan, it's me. Like how can I do anything to you?
But I think people forget. Bodhi was the one who was more tolerant of games, understanding. I will raise part of this bar and part of the section of this city with you in it and make you a matching skin boot for a lovely older couple who's been wanting a snake skin boot for a while. So you better drop the act right now while I'm still nice about it.
I really I don't know what you're talking about. What if we meet again later? You take a nap and then we'll
Immediately, he's letting that whole war god flare up. And
is that right?
now he's demanding and he's using the Eros ring, a part of it. He start talking. What is it that you want? And no bullshit.
I wanted what I've always wanted to help Scions.
You've had 6 months to help with Scions. And as soon as you hear a project that perks your little ears, now you decide you want to reach out to one of mine. You got into a car with one of mine, and now you want to help Scions. After 6 months,
I mean, we're not all as good as being forthright as some, but when the time is right, I make my appearance like a snake. You know how snakes operate, right? They wait and strike as soon as the opportunity presents itself.
and by the time he makes that word, opportunity hits, um, part of that bar sets itself on fire.
Okay.
Um, and it's slowly reaching out. There's like uh, something humanoid is reaching out from the flames and is reaching out towards him. Last time, cut the games. What do you want directly? I
You
don't
do
do.
notice that like there are other people in the bar. They're moving away from the fire, but very slowly, as if there's this heavy lethargy affecting them.
We can play chicken all we want, but you're gonna give me an answer, a straight answer. None of this slithering, none of the whole sucking up. You want to help with the city? Say directly what it is you want to help with. Not Project Guardian. I'm sorry, we're not looking for anyone else. However, if you want to go and play heroics, you can. I have not stopped you from doing so. I've given you free reign to go and, well, do your Scion duty.
Unfortunately, you've already given me what I want. I'll see you again, Nolan. I'm sure I will. And he gets up and he starts to walk out away. I'm going to need you to roll a, we'll say, my athletics or close combat roll. There is a +3 complication due to the curse of sloth that has been placed on you.
Gotcha. Three, that's 4, 5, 6. What was the difficulty?
2.
2?
Hmm.
Uh, and the complication is 3, right?
Yep.
With 7, I'm gonna buy off those complications.
And grab. I see you grab him, and he looks at you with genuine shock. Like, you are a lively one.
He's holding on to me, right?
No, no, he's not holding on to you. You have, I'm assuming his like right hand as he passes or something.
Turns off the flame. Puts down like a few $100 bills on the bar. He opens a door up for Viper. Step into my office real quick.
Well, I guess I don't have much of a choice. And he steps in.
Uh, Immediately, that old school gun now with a rancid green flame coming out holds up to him. You don't think we don't? You think we don't watch Science in the City, do you?
You're attacking a Scion right now. Why? I don't think you like Scions.
See, the thing is, right? 5. I've dealt with 5, and my friends, combined with what they've dealt with, it'd be 6. 6 psionic bullshit that we have had to deal with. You being one of those 6. Now, I was a little bit more lenient, a little bit more nicer because of the whole, puppeteering thing. However, if Doug seems to not trust you, and Cthulhu hasn't really made you out to be a worse person, and Bodhi isn't here to vouch for you, and instead was a little bit questioning about that. Do you fucking think I would trust a snake in this city?
The question isn't trust, Nolan. The question is ability. You can't stop a snake in this city.
And kind of lets him out like, okay, well, I can't stop you then. I'll move out your way. However, what you will find in the city doesn't like snakes either.
Well, we'll see, won't we? Until next time, Nolan.
Hmm. And no more sleep tricks. It's funny one time. A second time, we'll get you beheaded.
Yeah, you might want to take a nice deep sleep. Uh, when you're tired, it tends to linger for a long time until it's fixed.
Don't worry, I know my bout of curses. I know what you did to Bodhi the last time.
You take care there, Nolan. And he leaves.
By the time he's leaving, there's already like a curse he's moving. He's put a curse of Warhawks. from using that war domain.
Same thing. You need to do a grow your legend and then to see if you can buy off the curse as like everything you do is just like you have been tired in a couple of years at this point.
You can buy off the complication. He buys the complication off just with two successes left afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
Um, because if I'm going to be fucked with, we're both going to be fucked
We
with.
we both it's
With
mutual
that
curse thing
system,
happening
yeah.
right now.
Like if I'm going to be tired, he's going to be in agony. Like we're both just going to be like tit for tat on that one. But um, makes his way back to the temple, Bodhi's temple.
Hmm.
Um, he sent Chris back over. Um, in fact, he sent like most of his people back over to the um steam room, um, just making sure all of them reunited. He has some people that's coming back from overseas as well, but he's making sure to check on one person. He's checking on Bodhi.
Bodhi, were you meditating tonight?
Eventually, probably, yeah. Once she's done, you know, making a little bit of a Tusa a little bit more resilient to the unnatural causes that seem to be popping up.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
And do
she'll
you
be.
meditate inside or outside, just for my own?
It really does depend on the situation. I think tonight, she's been isolated from the city for long enough that
Hmm.
um, she'll be sitting on the front steps of the temple.
Gotcha. Um, if you would make me an integrity composure roll. Or integrity intellect, whichever one.
We are gonna go with composure. Um, these dice are gonna go to jail. Um, that is one success, but it was on a divinity dice.
Actually, yeah, no, that works. Um, you're reminded of a few months at least ago, at least in your perception, where you were meditating and you saw a vision of a Tusa draped in snow and ice.
Mm-hmm. And am I reasonably able to make the same connection as to what was the um, apparent cause of that snow and ice?
While you have not seen Rachel since you've actually no, you were there when Rachel died, and so you know Rachel's not here, but Rachel's energy, the same lethargy that's persuading that is being pervaded across the city, the sudden drops in temperature, there seems to be a connection between her energy and what is happening
Mm-hmm.
to Atusa.
Mm-hmm. So she'll need to find out um, what's going on with Rachel.
And as you are finishing up your meditation, Nolan arrives.
So, um, how has your night been?
Eventful. Seems, well, I don't know if you noticed, but there seems to be a few ongoings around the city that I have been trying to juggle.
Yeah.
Not liking it one bit.
So, has there been any word from about Rachel's whereabouts?
Nix asked about her. Apparently, she never went directly home. Hades seems to be not doing his job like he's supposed to be doing. Although, if what I heard recently from recent rumors, that doesn't sound to surprise me one bit when it comes to the Pantheon. So,
How
your guess is as good as mine.
how long ago was it that you heard from Nyx?
What was it, like a month ago when she texted? Jazz?
Yep.
About a month ago is when I got a text. I don't know what happened. I guess she probably asked him what happened to her daughter.
What about how long ago did the cold weather in August start?
A month ago, give or take.
So once again, we have ourselves a Rachel problem.
Well, a little bit of a flashback. We also have a Viper problem. He's scheming. It seems the Cthulhu influence probably wasn't what was making him the crafty bastard that he is. He is a snake after all.
He still thinks he's a Scion. Does he?
He does. He wants to help Scions. His words. Although his actions don't match his intentions.
Nolan, while you were with him, because you too have Scent of the Divine, but you didn't have it back then. Okay, never mind. He had a unique scent, one that you don't recognize.
I'll kind of mention on that. He had a scent about him. So he has something going on.
Okay. So it wasn't the same stench that he had gotten from the Cthulhu, right? Or was it something different?
Well, it was like seawater, right?
Yeah, Cthulhu was like briny seawater.
Yeah.
This was
Uh,
different.
did I get like a description on that, or is it just a
You would be able to describe it, although I don't have a description honestly in mind right now.
that's fine. Well, it wasn't briny. It was different.
Actually, no, I got one. It smelled kind of like iron.
Iron. Mm, smelled like iron. Either he's with a forge master or he's with a lot of blood. And he seems to be able to go around and he's using his lethargic curse willy-nilly.
Well, yeah, that'll have to be dealt with. I would guess. Let's see here. So I guess for the time being, we can dig into him, see what activities what he's been getting his fingers into. Um, and then maybe we take away the pies and see how he reacts.
Right. Bodhi. Well, I'm glad you're back in the city. I will say things have changed drastically since you've been gone. City isn't really the same as it was. A lot more hostile.
Then we'll have to go and deal with some of that. But
I
perhaps that's a. I'll have to get a little bit more hands on than I had in the past, maybe.
The reason why I asked that is because, well, I had to stomp out an upstart in the last 6 months. I've been not just here, I've been everywhere that someone has been in need for the type of domain that I'm under. What I'm saying is, which divine am I speaking to? Am I speaking to old Bodhi, who was of the wisdom, divine paths, pacifist, willing to talk Bodhi? Am I talking to war Bodhi, Bodhi of the divine garden? I would have to, I need to prepare my own self, not just for them, but also for your arrival as well.
You're talking to the Bodhi that is willing to do what's necessary to protect Tusa and protect the world and beyond.
And which Bodhi is that?
It's a bit of all of them. Sometimes violence has to come out of a place of compassion. And sometimes threats will need to be removed in order to protect the citizens. And quite honestly, I'm not sure with Viper's past. I really need to know what he's up to. Perhaps it's my first night back in the city. From a place where there were thousands around me, and yet no one.
Well, not no one. Um, sl- he slides his phone. I couldn't find all of them, but for the few of them who seem to like really need it the most, slides the phone, takes it out, and he hits a video, and it's a bunch of his followers. Uh, it's kind of like one of those montage videos of his followers talking about how much they miss Bodhi, how much they're waiting for Bodhi to return, things like that. Um, they're going out to like different cities that isn't Atusa and like doing good.
Well, I'm glad they're doing good.
Well, I was calling them into the city for something else, but apparently you arrived at the same time. Planes should be arriving with a bunch of them coming in now. Although TSA will probably have a lot of questions about why a bunch of monks are coming into the city all at once. Don't worry, we'll talk to customs this before they land, or they probably have land. Uh, I'll have. He's my he's my assistant and head priest now. I a little bit of that Nolan kind of slips back in. Ah, Mike is now my main person and priest and advocate and acolyte. He's made himself that. I don't know. I He'll make sure that they're in the city and back here as soon as possible.
Sounds like a plan. Whether or not it's Viper's residual effects, I do need some sleep though.
Well, go get some sleep. I'm going to go head to my quarters as well. It's really great to see you again, Bodhi. Um, and he puts that metaphorical mask back on and heads back to his place.
Atusa is cold. Atusa is overgrown, and Atusa is becoming progressively more slothful. This is the Atusa that Bodhi is returning to, and the Atusa that Nolan has seen progress over the past 6 months. And this is the Atusa we're going to come back to
In 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks because next week we're taking a break. Thank you all so much for joining us. We are starting on the next leg as not only are we demigods, but we are starting to like climb the rungs of apotheosis with Bodhi having taken that first step, shedding of the mortal coil and really taking on that god-like, not demeanor, godlike visage as they've returned back to the living. Of course, like that they can still die. Like Bodhi can die as she attempts to become a god. And so there is that kind of like, how do we go about doing this? We are really delving into the apotheosis. But before we end, as always, let's talk to the great people who make this fun. This time we'll start with Crow. Tell us who you are, who you playing, and what's Nolan feeling right now?
Hi, I'm Crow. I just finished playing Nolan. No longer Nolan Peters. Just Nolan. Um, Going through a lot of emotions and a lot of not emotions and a lot of secrets, especially secrets from Bodhi. So there's a mixture of things going on in Nolan's head, but he's just trying to get back to whoever it was he sent back over to the steam room that he hasn't opened up in 6 months.
Mhm.
Um, you can find me again here this week on Thursday playing The World Below. It's gonna be fun playing an Eldritch elven guy who might be fighting insects that are taking over like a whole domain. It's a lot. You have to be there to like see it. If you're looking for me, I am Corvus on the S site or Blue Sky, whatever you want to call it. Don't expect a bunch of updates except for what I'm doing because I don't do a lot when it comes to social media anymore. And that's pretty much about it.
Beautiful. And Zach, if you would the same, tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what is Bodhi feeling right now?
I am Zachary Naldra, he, him. Been playing Bodhi Lee, now she, her. Um, so, and she's feeling the disconnection that she once had to a lot of the things around her. She's not calling the monks and pact herself, um, because she realizes that there's that attachment that um, she's not going to be a demigod forever, and she needs to make sure that her influence is going to be something that is more widely spread, and localized with the direct individuals. It's going to need to have bigger impact. She let Sasha go, um, because she can't seem to uh, she doesn't seem to have that. Um, Again, there was that need that she needed to have Bodhi there, and she can't have people rely on her if she's going to have to up and disappear. They're going to need to be able to be self-sufficient somewhat, which is why she's rather be at the food bank and giving out food, because those people are going to not follow her around, and then when she disappears, blame her her for their situation. Uh, as far as where you can find me, I am on the BS site at zachrules.com, which is also the same as my website. Um, if you want to see me on Twitch, too bad. I'm not going to be here for like the whole 2 weeks, because I'm going to PAX Unplugged. If you are wandering around, see me wandering around PAX Unplugged, and you can recognize me with my face mask on, good for you. I can barely recognize me with my face mask on. But if I'm not hiding out, disassociating over by the Gehenna Games game room, and talking to the people from there, and if I'm not circling around the floor or bothering the people who are staff at the Onyx Path booth, which they put way in the back corner this year. So if you've got the map, go look for it, check it out. Come say hi, I guess. And because it is that we just ended the month and there was a wrap up, and we have a new Scion community content title out there. This is from C Yang Scion Shen expansion. It is C Yang's first Story Path Nexus title, so go give them some love and check it out. Okay, bye.
Beautiful. So once again, thank you all for joining us. Hope to see you in 2 weeks when we return. Until then, have a great time. We'll see you then.
Bye. Have a great time. Come back now. Bye bye.